Part 8, in which Fat Maggie is faced with a terrible decision and we end our story. And here, if you recall, is where we started this tale. Fat Maggie, hands shaking, face terribly pale, pointing her pistol at the knave perched on the gunwale, trying to decide if her freedom was for sale, for 100-gram weight of saffron. I never intended to marry, she muttered, thinking aloud. I like my freedom too much for a mate to cloud my thinking and my senses, but to disavow my desire for that saffron would be pure madness. All right then, she said, and fire burned in her eyes. A few questions, foul fiend, before I shall advise you of my decision. Think well, for your answers may make me despise you a little less. What would you do, sir, with giant striped krill? Ah, that's simple, my dear. I'd throw them on the grill, after marinating them in a limey rum swill, with just a hint of purple basil. And what, sir, would you pair with braised fillet of young eel? Oh, served with sunfruit compote, 'twould make a delicious meal, especially if laid on a bread of cornmeal, lightly toasted and liberally smeared with sea gooseberry butter. Maggie paused here, quite taken aback. This man was a rogue, but when it came to food, he was no hack. He knew of what he spoke. Truly, he had a knack for intriguing ideas. Curious now, she did persevere and asked him what he'd put in maple nut beer, how he'd make stuffed figs, how long he would sear a goatfish steak, how he'd serve sea reindeer. Indeed, the interrogation went on into the night, and it was only when the first rays of sunlight reached over the sea that Fat Maggie Delight did lower her weapon and smile at the man who on the gunwale still perched, and who, now she knew him, did cause her heart to lurch, for she felt now that after these hours of research she had found herself a most worthy companion. All right, Captain Gory, I've made my decision. You know your food with such precision that I've had quite a delectable vision of our future. I shall wed you, I shall. To me that saffron you'll give. On our separate ships we'll continue to live. You'll hunt far and wide for the finest ingestives that we shall then weave into the most astounding of meals. And so the wench and the clam shall rule the salt seas, our foes dispatch and enchant and appease, with shortcakes and long cakes and double-baked bries, and when we've brought them all to their knees, we'll take them for all they've got. For I'm the magnificent Maggie Delight, my name inspires fear, as much as does ignite a yearning and burning for my feathery light lemon pancakes. And you, sir, shall be my partner in life and cuisine. But, make no mistake, I'm as much the head chef as I am pirate queen. But now, tell me, dear Gory, what would you add to terrine of sea bison and watercress? And so it went, and so they lived, so they spoke, so they ate, and between them a bond forged with strength near as great as the love that they had for the food on their plates. Near as, but not quite. The end.